Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to a new video. So I think on my Patreon a few weeks ago, I did a video on John Byrne. Been getting a lot of requests for some of this kind of classic X-Men stuff. And it's interesting for me because it's way before I started collecting comics. I've never really gotten into this work, although I own, I think, all the essential X-Men that contain the Byrne and Cockrum stuff. On top of that, I had a friend that was a huge John Byrne fan, and I bought his collection years ago. So I have a lot of the singles of just pretty much everything that John Byrne did up until he stopped collecting. But yeah, so I thought what we do is it'll probably be a series of videos, but I'm really kind of curious about the evolution of the X-Men, and then also the transition from Dave Cockrum to John Byrne to, maybe like up to the sort of bigger explosion, I guess. I don't know, that the X-Men experienced as it went along. And what was kind of interesting is when I did the video for Patreon, what I found interesting, man, I have not even opened this book. This thing is like brand new. I was really curious of when like double page spreads and stuff like that started to really become kind of more of a common thing in the X-Men. These are great pieces. Wow. So this is Bob Wycheck inking Dave Cockrum, and this is going to be a fairly short video. It's going to be about 10 to 12 minutes. So again, for people that are used to my sort of longer videos, I'm want to keep these a little more succinct, but we'll try to go through like one full comic book. So this is Uncanny X-Men number 162. It's like 1982. So this is cool. Like the anatomy is cool. I think it's actually a really nice drawing, and the cover is Wycheck and Cockrum too. It's interesting too because I actually really like, for superhero teams, I would say that the X-Men are probably like my second favorite superhero team. But I really don't know the history of the X-Men that well. I don't know a lot of the characters. I just like the way that it looks, and I think that there's a chemistry that the X-Men at its best has that is really cool. So this is a great drawing. So this will be a learning process for me. So I'm not going to try to get to like sort of, this was this and that was that, because I honestly don't know. So this is, now I'm kind of trying to figure out, did John Byrne work on X-Men before Cockrum or after? Well, I don't even know. I always thought it was Cockrum first and then John Byrne. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. Said, wow, this is great art though. I actually really like this. This book has got a lot of cool stuff in it too. It's got John Romita Jr., Barry Windsor Smith, and yeah, it should be chocked full of like coolness. So this is nice. These are cool little drawings. This is really nice. This is really good. I like Wolverine's face there. It's very boiled down, but it looks cool. The horse. Hello. This is a nice shot. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, kind of what always happened for me is, like, I think probably a lot of people, like you you get turned on to comics. Usually it's a friend and they collect comics and they sort of show you some comics, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is actually really cool. I like this. And you go to the store and you take a few bucks and you buy a couple of things or whatever. Like now maybe you get this stuff online. But it can snowball really fast. I remember going from having like what was it? It was some kind of really small box. It wasn't even a short box of comics, but like a box that would hold comics. It was about half the size of that. And I would put my comic books in it. I was so proud. I had like 30 comic books, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, my collection's getting big. I might need a short box and then someday a long box. And then it was 3 long boxes. Then it was 6 long boxes. Then it was 12 long boxes. Then it was like I bought a collection off of a guy, and oh man, it just got crazy. This is really cool. But ultimately, what happened is I never really had enough time to read everything because I was always working. So a lot of stuff was acquired. Okay, so this is a double page spread. Okay, so 1982, we're seeing spreads. We'll go back because I'm really, really curious of when this started to become a more common thing in the books. Because I had noticed in the other video that we did, I wasn't seeing double page spreads at all. And in fact, the panel layouts were still fairly conservative across the board. Nice drawings though, but yeah, it didn't get too fancy with things. See, this is starting to look to me almost like contemporary comics, meaning just it's like it's not that far removed from something you might see now. It's cool stuff. It's really nice. It's a nice drawing. It was funny. I saw an interview with Guillermo del Toro in the past week. I think I just for whatever reason he came on my radar, and I was like, I wonder if there's any interviews. There's a lot of long interviews with him online. But I was listening to one, and he was talking about, and I've heard other directors say this, but like he watches 2 full movies a day every day. I thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, you know what, Rich, you should be reading 2 full comics a day. It's a way smaller commitment. So who knows? Maybe I'll go through this whole book and read it. I kind of want to look at more modern stuff, though. I think it's good to have an affinity and an understanding of this, but I also think that, you know, you could do a combo. Oh man, this is nice. Look at this. This is really, really good. I think Wycheck and Cockrum actually make a great team. Hardcore Cockrum fans might disagree. It might be like some of the inkers that ink Jack Kirby. Like people definitely have sort of favorites, and then others that they don't care for as much. So who knows? Maybe I'm way off. It's a really cool drawing. Well, I'm actually really glad that I busted this out. This is a nice way to start the day. I penciled for like 3 hours. I did a Patreon video on a perspective. I had other stuff to do. I'm doing this for you guys, and then I'm gonna ink a page, and then I'm gonna draw more tonight on my own stuff. I'm only like when I pencil now, I'm only drawing Blaster Kid. It's the only thing that I'm working on, so it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. This is really cool. This looks like a good issue. Man, that's really cool. Yeah, see, and it's things like this, like no panel borders, it's open. Probably in the 70s, I think, because those Conan magazines had a lot of pretty varied storytelling techniques, whereas older Marvel books, I guess they were still exciting, but there was definitely a grid sort of approach to it. This is cool. I think Wolverine's hair there is classic. It's so perfect. He's like, I'm gonna fight this monster, but yeah, my hair is gonna be just spot on. That's actually really cool. I like I like that panel. This is cool. That's a nice little tiny Wolverine head. The thing is small. This is great. I'm rotating the page. I'll rotate it back in a second, but this is actually a really, really cool shot. He really twisted him down. That's really good. I mean, he's not only leaning over, he's like leaning under. And the anatomy on the arm is really, really cool. I love when people build up their anatomy this way with the like just waves of lumps of muscles. I always think that that looks really cool. It looks like you really know what you're doing. You're like, man, I'm just gonna like boom, 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 put it in. Wow, okay, splash page too. This is some highfalutin art. This is so not what I was expecting. I have to be honest. I was expecting 6-panel pages that were very like nicely drawn, but this has got a lot of bang for the buck. It was interesting too because yesterday someone had asked about this again, or I was replying to comments about it, and yeah, they were saying that Cockrum was like kind of a rougher version of Burn or something like that. It was interesting to me because my remembrance of Cockrum stuff is that it was always really clean and like precise. So I don't know if maybe Wycheck and Cockrum together have a little bit more of a grit. It's an interesting Wolverine figure. His rib cage almost makes him look like a slightly overweight woman. His legs are cool. The figure is good. It's just I think his rib cage is like it's a little. It needs a harder like line here. It's a little too rounded. So it makes it look like he's got like back fat. Let's look around. That is cool. I love the lighting on the hair with that shadow coming off of this. This is really, really cool. Oh, and I'll mention pencils. So when I pencil now, what I've been using is I've been using actually like regular like sharpening pencils. And I've gone back and forth between a ton of different brands and like lead densities, I guess you would call it. Right now I'm using an HB and it's what is this? This is a Barrel Turquoise. This is a good pencil. Sharpened, it can get a really nice light line, and then you can go in and do really nice like eyebrows and eyelashes and get some nice shading with one pencil, so you're not having to hop around back and forth between a bunch. But I've got a whole thing full of probably 50 different pencils and brands. So I've been trying a lot of different stuff. It's been fun. So I used to use really hard lead. That was a great issue. Man, that was really good. But I'm going to end it here. I'm so tempted to do another one, but let's just leave it at one. But I'll tell you what, X-Men 162 is a really, really good issue. It was really good. This looks great. The story looks awesome. I'll read this tonight too. And what I'll do moving forward when we check out the evolution of the X-Men and sort of the evolution of the art styles that happened on it, and we'll go back too. We started here, but we'll bounce around a little bit. Give me recommendations if you're a real X-Men fan and a real expert. You let me know what you think would be interesting to go to next, because I don't know. Like I said, this is gonna be a learning process for me. So this is 162. This is a great issue. I'm wondering if I have this. There's a good chance that I actually own the comic of it. I've got a pretty humongous X-Men collection, but it doesn't go back to a lot of the key Silver Age. I do have some, but they're usually beater copies. But yeah, there's a point somewhere where I start to have a lot of X-Men issues. So yeah, that was really good. That was great, actually, and so much different than I thought it was going to be. All right, you all have a great day. I'll be back maybe tomorrow, but if not, I'll definitely check the comments on this, and you let me know where we should go from here. Should we look in order to maybe earlier Cockrum or John Byrne or however it goes, and like I said, I'll learn along the way what's going on. But that was really cool. All right, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.